What's going on, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Seahawks. I'm going to be talking about the OTAs. OTAs have concluded, and I'm just going to be talking about what we're going to be looking forward to, what's been going on, some of this news that's been going on. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. Alrighty, so OTAs just ended yesterday, June 9th. So today's June 10th. Mandatory minicamp is Friday, June 14th to Sunday, June 16th. So everyone will be there. Because I don't think we have any contract disputes. All the rookies are signed. So I think we're chilling this offseason, or we're chilling this offseason, or this mandatory minicamp. And then after this, it's going to be dead for a minute. Training camp is not going to be until the end of July, so we're going to have at least a month and a half of nothing, just dead silence. I mean, maybe some free agency moves happened. I doubt trades happen. I don't even know if we're allowed to trade right now. I'm pretty sure we can, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's just the dead part of the off season. And if you guys watch the UFL, good on you. I can't, because one, the Sea Dragons no longer exist, and two, I don't know. It's just not the same, in my opinion. So right now, the only thing that's holding me over is the NBA Finals, in which it's really not a competition. And the Mariners, who are, they're giving me heart attacks. So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys too, if you're also Mariners fans. So yeah, we're gonna be very dead. But here's some of the things that's been going on over the course of OTAs. Apparently, this is as of today. Apparently, we're gonna be bringing in Robbie Chosen, and if you don't know him by that name, I should say, you might know him by the name of Robbie Anderson, who used to play on the Dolphins, used to play on the Jets, used to play on the Cardinals. I remember him being on the Cardinals because of that one game he had against us where he had like multiple drops that would have converted like first downs and stuff that probably would have saved the game for the Cardinals. But we're inviting him, former 1,000-yard receiver. He's coming to mandatory minicamp. He's not on the roster; it's just a tryout. So it's going to be most likely than not, he's not going to make the team. But if he has a good camp, he could make the team. So we'll see. Let's see here. Oh yeah, apparently Gino is very impressed with the new offense. See, there is no quarterback competition with the Seattle Seahawks, and there's no evidence suggesting there should be. So, John Schneider said that Geno Smith is a starter until, he's not. And Geno himself, as being QB1, he has say on what's going on with the offense. He said he's very impressed with it. He said obviously from the stuff he's done in college, he has a great track record. And then just being a part of the system, and he's talking about Grubb. Being able to learn from him, the type of guy that he is, type of man that he is, type of coach that he is, I think there is going to be great things coming for us. So, and this is also important, Grubb estimated last week, and this was last week, and this was as of 2 days ago, Grubb estimated that the offense was nearly half done, half installed, which is huge because we're not even at mandatory minicamp, and the offense is already halfway installed, which is massive because the quicker we can get it installed, the faster we can master it and, work on it more, work on variation, stuff like that. So that's huge. I'm glad to see that. And I remember seeing not long ago, like maybe a couple weeks ago, that McDonald said that the defense is about 20% installed, and that was as of 2 weeks ago. So as of right now, it could be 30% installed, 40% installed. We don't, and this was as of last week. So the offense could be 52%, 53%. So it's very nice to see that we're making a lot of progress. He's one of the best college offensive coordinators in the game. So I'm glad to have him on board. I know it's going to take time for the offense to really click and, really show itself, but I am confident that it'll be a good offense, at least average, to start out the year, like ending the year. So That's huge. Apparently, John Schneider's Aaron Rodgers experience led to Seahawks trading for Sam Howell. So let's get into this. This was as of yesterday on the 12th Man Rising. So I'm just going to go to the quote. I remember there was like a quote. You know what? We'll just watch the video.
John, when we talked to you back at the Combine, you made the point of, hey, we've only drafted 2 quarterbacks in my time here as the GM. We want to change that, you said at the time. Ian, right now, the wheels are spinning. He's trying to think of the second name, and he still doesn't have it, even though we gave him the answer last time. You didn't draft a quarterback this year, but after we had that conversation, you did acquire a young quarterback in Sam Howell. Mike McDonald's made very clear Geno is the starter, but tell me about Sam Howell and what this year and beyond looks like in terms of how you're trying to develop him moving forward.
Well, first of all, from an acquisition standpoint, I'd have to say, I give our staff a ton of credit. We sat here on a Saturday afternoon studying, and we were going through the board, and we were kind of like, wow, there's a situation where 6 of these quarterbacks could go before we pick, and Drew.
Also, I need to talk about that. This is why John Schneider is one of the best GMs in the NFL. He correctly predicted that there was a chance that six QBs would go in the top 12. He accurately predicted that. That is insane, and just goes to show how elite of a GM he is. He's ahead of the game. He knows how it works. So he knows, hey, why risk it? I mean, obviously if Penix was at 10, we would have tried to go and trade him, because Penix, he's a great quarterback. And just despite the injury history, he has an upside as long as you give him an O-line. But he realized that a lot of these guys are already 24. Why go get someone fresh out of college when you can go get somebody who is 1 year younger than a lot of these guys and has NFL experience? Like, it may not pan out, but that thinking is just that's just the thinking of an elite GM right there. Like that I don't know a lot of other GMs that would make that would really think that deep about that. And, it's a low risk, high reward situation. If it doesn't work, oh well. It was low risk, but if it does, hey, it paid off. So I really like that. And if it doesn't pay off, you can get a quarterback later down the line. I feel like maybe if Geno continues to have good years for us, we can sign him to another extension. And we may not be winning championships anytime soon, but we can set ourselves up, because Mike McDonald, he's going to be a head coach for the voice crack. He's going to be the head coach for the next head coach for the next 6 years. So assuming he's going to be really good for us, he has a really good defense. I really like the process that John Schneider's going through. So kudos to him for really identifying that and taking action on it by trading a quarterback that is younger and has upside. So good on him.
Moved on, gulag, great guy. Moved on to get with the Giants, and it was at that point where we decided to get real aggressive with the Redskins and working with Adam Peters and that group to try to acquire Sam, and we knew we were competing with other teams, and Sam had a great game against us last year. And he's an impressive guy, worked his tail off, and obviously Geno's done a great job as well. So we really like the two of these guys. Really like Sam's upside a lot. He started 18 games and been a productive player in this league, and we like his toughness and his swag, and he's got a really cool leadership style about him as well, quiet and strong.
That's really interesting. I was actually going to ask you if you were a little surprised that 6 quarterbacks went before you in the first round of the draft, but it sounds like, based on the kind of what you just mentioned, the kind of forward thinking you guys do, it sounds like you were not only not that surprised, but had sort of prepared for it. Is that right?
See, even he knows. So he's ahead of the game.
Yeah, we thought there was a good chance. It was honestly, it was kind of an exercise, much like we did with John Dorsey and Reggie McKenzie and Ted back in Green Bay. There's a chance, I know that was closer to the draft, but there's a chance Aaron Rodgers could, make it to us. And, if he's not picked right away, there has to be like 4 or 5 teams. And we just did all these different exercises to go through it. And so it was very similar to that, experience that we had together in Green Bay. And yeah, those guys were, at the end of the day, they were all hot. And, we had a great visit with Bo. Obviously, we knew Penix real well, JJ McCarthy. So we had a great feel for all these guys. And, we were like, well, if we like them, everybody else is going to like him too. So, yeah, we better get on. We better get on it here.
Oh, hey. He went back to his previous experience of being in Green Bay, and, he used that, going into this draft. And he did this, and the difference between then and now is, that was during the draft. This was like pre-draft. So he really did learn on that. And John Schneider, man, I feel like this will pay off. I mean, we'll see. But I really like the low risk, high reward approach to this. So without having to spend a first round pick for a quarterback that can, be serviceable and run your offense. So I like that. Oh yeah, I know we signed PJ Walker as our third QB. I'm not gonna lie, PJ Walker, he belongs in the XFL or UFL, but I mean, quarterbacks are hard to come by. You can't just they're just not you can't just, especially like good backups. You just can't find a good backup out there. Like Drew Lock, he's a good backup. We made him a good backup. Geno, I mean, he was a backup. Now he's a starter. So I don't really know. I don't know if we're even able to put that backup title on him anymore because he's no longer a backup. So, but the QB or QB2s and 3s are hard to find. So the fact that we're able to get Sam Howell at QB2, which is already cool in and of itself, we got a QB3 that, I mean, hopefully it won't come to us having to use him, but he's there if we need him, I guess. So, but I mean, there really isn't much else going on. What would a breakout year from the Seattle Seahawks JSN look like? Well, you know what? That's actually a very good question. So I think JSN is going to have a monster year this year. Based off what I've seen last year, Geno likes JSN now. He can trust him, especially after seeing what he did with Drew Lock as quarterback. He is going to go to him a lot more this year for sure. And I know for a fact Grubb is going to want to use him more because, Grubb is a college, he's a college OC. Well, coming from college, going to the NFL. JSN is in his second year coming out of college. So I feel like him and Grubb would really get along well because JSN's already been in the league for a year, so he kind of has a tiny bit, even though he's a young guy that is probably half the age of Grubb, he already has a year of NFL experience in terms of offense that Grubb doesn't. So, they could work hand in hand, which is nice. So I think JSN could really, really have a breakout year. I really think he could easily get 1,000+ yards. I don't think Lockett, but that means some of these yards are going to get taken away from someone else. So we still got, but the thing is, we got JSN, we got DK, and we got Lockett. I mean, in a perfect world, all three of them get 1,000+ yards. That means that we are having a really, really good year offensively. If all three wide receivers have 1,000+ yards. JSN is still wide receiver 3, Tyler Lockett is still wide receiver 2, and DK is still wide receiver 1. But I guarantee you, I would not be surprised if at some point during the season, JSN overtakes Tyler Lockett. Because Tyler Lockett is, even though he signed a contract extension, he did say he's planning on retiring. He did say that he's playing longer than he anticipated, even though he's happy he made it. He is playing longer than he anticipated. So Tyler Lockett could real quickly become wide receiver 3 and take the backseat to JSN, which, I would be perfectly okay with because JSN is younger. We spent a 20th overall pick on him. I believe JSN is up next in our wide receiver core, and I believe, once Tyler Lockett is officially out, Bobo could take over at wide receiver 3. We have a lot of our wide receiver group is looking really good our wide receiver future is looking pretty good. DK is still 25. We have him under contract, I think, one more year after this. And then, we got JSN in the second year of his rookie deal. Jake Bobo's on the second year of his 3-year undrafted deal. I like the future of this wide receiver core. So hopefully we'll be able to keep it all, years in the future. But yeah, I don't really know. Is there anything else to really talk about? All I know is that a lot of, I know that JSN has had a monster OTAs. I know the defense and offenses are being installed. There really isn't much to know about since the OTAs. I think there was only one OTAs that was public. Mandatory minicamp, I don't think that's public. So maybe one day might be public. I don't know. And then, like I said, training camp is for another month and a half until the end of July. So there's going to be a drought of just straight nothing, like barring trades or any free agency moves. So, but I think that's all. I think that's all I have for this video. I will be making another Mariners video sometime soon. Took a pretty bad Series L to the Royals in one that we shouldn't have taken. I need to make a Kraken video. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I'm pretty booked this week. I was only able to get this video out today because it's gonna be a shorter video. But I'll be making a video on them. I hear the Storm are really, really good. I've actually been tuning into them, and they are. So I tuned into them, and they are good. They just lost to the Lynx last night, but they have upside this year. They coming out of a rebuild pretty strongly. So I may make a video on that if you guys would want me to. I'll see what happens. But stay tuned for any additional videos. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. And go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.